were trying to work our internet out. Those things, you know, we cannot do anything about it. But thank you so much for joining me. Today's show is going to be wonderful, wonderful. And I also want to take another opportunity to just thank each one of you for watching the show, for sharing on your page, sharing in your groups. I mean, it has been a blessing. And I just want you to know I'm very, very grateful. Sometimes I ask myself, what have I done to deserve such a wonderful, wonderful followers on Facebook, on Instagram, and also on YouTube. Please do me a big favor. If you can like Woman of Influence on Facebook, that would be very wonderful. That is my page on Facebook. So if you want to follow me, it's better for you to follow Woman of Influence, you know. So you go there, you like it. So anytime I am alive, you'll be able to see it. And it make it even easy because Facebook will send you a notification that Woman of Influence is on. So it's easy on you. And please, please, I've noticed that YouTube too, most of you have gone there and subscribed, so the numbers are going up. Can you please do me a favor right now? If you can go to YouTube and also subscribe, that is a blessing. And I'm on Instagram too. So those of you on Instagram, please follow it there too. Let it be a blessing, because most of the things that we speak on here, it will help somebody. So please don't just keep it to yourself. Make sure that you share it and you tag your friends to come in. Today we are still looking at the scar of survivor. And last week I said that if you are a person of purpose, then you don't have to be afraid of your scars. We all have it. It's good for people to know where you are coming from, where you are going, and what God is doing in your life. It will encourage somebody to know that, hey, I am not in this alone, but somebody has been there. And the Woman of Influence, that's what we do. Just encourage, empower, and let us make an impact in our world. So it's not a shame to have scars. So that's what we are talking about. And I felt it so fit to bring one of our pastors in Grace Family. I mean, Pastor Sandra. We started the show with her. Those of you who don't know, we started Woman of Influence with her. I think our first Woman of Influence was in your house, isn't it?
Yes, it was.
We did. It was in her house. So, I mean, she has been very, very awesome, supportive. I've been there from the beginning. And if you are talking about endurance, if you are talking about somebody who have been through but have overcome, I don't know anybody better than her. So I saw it so fit to bring her to you. I know that God is going to use her to say something in your life that is going to bless you. So thank you so much for joining me. And we go straight into the show. Please, if you have any questions, it's welcome, okay? And please, once you are enjoying the show, try to share it. I mean, today it's wonderful. You see that a lot of changes is happening. We are trying to improve in all, and I just want to use this opportunity to thank my producers who never want to even come to the show, but they are doing an awesome job. Emmanuel and TJ, Abigail, and TJ's wife, Minister Nessa, and my own husband, Bishop Creppy. So thank you so much. And I have a photo shoot after the show. I need some new pictures. I have a photo shoot after the show. So my own daughter decided to do my makeup. So if you like it, let her know that you like my makeup today. I mean, I think she did a very awesome job doing my makeup. I was asking, yo, you can't do that. Then she said, Mommy, just take it. Just take it. I know what I'm doing. So let's make a shout out to you, Creppy. I think she did an awesome job. Father Sandra,
yes,
you are welcome.
Thank you so much.
Oh,
it's good
my
to
God.
be back.
It has been
years. Seems like it's been forever.
I know.
Yeah.
You are welcome to Woman of Influence show.
Thank you.
I just want to use the opportunity to thank you so much.
Thank you.
You were there from the beginning. You see what God have done.
Oh, yes.
Going
Come
and
a long
going.
ways.
A long way. We didn't have a lot of things.
Nope, we didn't.
You know, but we make it work
We
because
sure
God
did.
give the vision. And look at
That's
it
right.
now. It's
That's right.
getting better and
We used
better.
to put things on top of things and make
You know?
stuff stack up things and make us sit high and put the tables up on top of boxes and oh yeah.
Oh, my
Long way,
God.
but look at God.
Yes,
Look
yes,
at God.
yes. But thank you so much for
You're
your
welcome.
support. You
Thank
are just
you.
an awesome, awesome woman
Thank
of God.
you.
So we are talking about Sky of Survivor, and I saw it so fit. I saw it so fit.
Yeah.
You've been through a lot.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah.
you have allowed yourself to be healed by God. You have allowed yourself to come out, and it's just a beautiful story sometimes you have. And sometimes when people see you and they see your cute haircut, they see how beautiful you are, they think, you know, we have it all together. They
Yeah.
don't know what is
Oh, yeah.
you know, behind
Oh,
our,
yeah.
you know, our clothes.
That's
but
right. That's right.
I wrote here that one of the greatest lessons we need to learn is like life is a fight.
That's right.
But we are not fighting each other. We
That's
are not
right.
fighting things. We are fighting some of the things that the enemy brings our way to
Oh yeah.
block us, you know, whilst we are going into our
That's
destiny.
right. That's
So
right.
how have you been able to fight in life?
Well, I thought about that, and you know, I came from a family of fighters.
Oh, yeah.
Physical fighters. I had
Wow.
7 brothers and 2 sisters, and I mean, they were fighters, and my brothers taught me how to fight. We knew how to fight physically, but we didn't know how to fight spiritually.
Wow.
Because of something that my mother had done, Pastor Victoria, it caused what I later found out to be a terrible generational curse.
Oh, wow.
I had 10 brothers, 10 family members, with 10 with myself included. All of us were married, but every single one was divorced.
Wow.
Every single one of my brothers and sisters, including myself, had been divorced at least one time. They were physically could fight, but mentally, physically, they didn't know how to fight. Because had they knew how to fight, I wouldn't have to take on this thing that I have now.
Yeah.
You know, so I had to first learn what I was fighting. I had to learn, and it took a long time to learn what I was fighting. What is it what is this that makes this generational thing where it's like all of my relatives are just getting divorces?
Yeah.
Then there was another one, alcoholism. Okay, all of my brothers were alcoholics. All of my brothers went to prison.
Wow.
7 brothers that went to prison. You see, and when I saw that happening, I knew that there had to be something that was wrong in my family, and I knew that I did not want it to happen to my children. I said to myself, I'm going to put a stop here. And some of my relatives are even passed away now. They died without reaching destiny because why? They didn't know how to fight.
Wow.
They didn't find out what they were fighting. They never found out what they were fighting, Pastor Victoria. So they end up dying young, prematurely, and dying, I believe, under that generational curse.
Yeah.
But I was determined. It stops here.
Okay.
It will not overtake me. I've got some things I want to do. God has blessed me with gifts and talents. He's blessed my children with gifts and talents. And I knew that if I didn't fight, then the same thing was going to happen to me. The same thing was going to happen to my children. The same thing was going to happen to their children's children. So you have to know first what you're fighting, because if you don't know what you're fighting, you don't know how to fight.
How to fight it.
Some mountains are made of just, soil.
Yeah.
Some are brick hard.
Yeah.
And this one was brick hard. I'm telling you, all of those curses, prison. I have 4 sons. Well, actually 5. I have 5 sons.
Okay.
And I have, children and my sons and things, and I was determined that they would not go to prison. They will not go to prison. They will not, like I saw all of my brothers do. They will not die before their time.
Yeah.
But somebody had to fight, and I say, well, it's going to have to be me. So I was determined, and I didn't know a whole lot about generational curses, really, and I knew some, and I was starting to learn before I came here.
Okay.
Once I got here, I found out that I had to find out what it was.
What it was.
What it was, because you can fight. It's just like fight. If you're fighting and just beating the air. You're not getting anywhere. But if you know who your enemy is and you know the target. So I learned through our bishop, what you have to know what you're fighting. Once I learned that, the Lord began to show me dreams, and I would see myself at my grandmother's house. Tearing down fences, tearing down stuff in my grandmother's house. So the Lord let me know that I was on the right track. So like I said, when I saw all that my family was doing, I knew I had to fight. So that's what kept me going. That's what has given me the endurance, because I cannot. I often hear you and Papa say, look, if you knew what was chasing me, you would see why I pray so much.
I know.
I got so many demons chasing my family.
Yeah.
I have to pray. I have to stay close to God, and I have to fight.
All right. So, Pastor, you made a very good point here. And I think even last week when Dr. Sims was here, she also mentioned it. So, as you were going, you knew there are some things that wasn't the right thing, but you didn't know the source of it.
Right.
So you came here. Is it important where God lead us to as children of God, especially a church, a ministry, a pastor, to kind of take you or lead you to something that you don't even know is there? How important it is in our life?
Oh, yeah. You know what? And I thought about that. I want to say this to all of the young people and the teenagers and the young people that are raised in church. It is vitally important, because, see, that was one of the things that I missed.
Okay.
I was raised in church, but I still didn't know what I was fighting. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what you have to understand is that, you know, sometimes what that'll do, being raised in church, the enemy will come, make you tired of church.
Okay.
The enemy will come to make you rebel against church because you've had to go so much. I'm going to tell you something. I missed a lot of things because I was not in the will of God. Because I wasn't hearing and I wasn't in the right place. So it's because I had not surrendered my life at that time to God, it caused me to make a lot of bad decisions. It caused me to miss God. So my advice would be, stay in a church, get in a church where you know the word is going forth, and stay with God. Because if you don't stay with God, you will miss your path to destiny. See, there's a path to our destiny. There's a path. God will strategically lead you along the way. But if you're not rooted and grounded, if you don't stay close to God, you can miss. And that's what happened to me. I end up going this way when I should have kept straight this way. And I mean, I was like the children of Israel. I had to go the long way around. And back around again, and probably around for the third or fourth time, when I could have just got there in 3 or 4 days. You see, so I'm telling everybody, that's your young people that are in church, you're in church, you're raised with Christian parents, it is vitally important that you stay with God. Don't let the enemy make you get tired of church. Don't let the enemy make you tell you, you know, I don't want to go to church anymore. Don't let the enemy tell you that I'm not going, when I get grown, I'm not going to church, because that's the way the enemy does to make you get off course to miss your destiny, and you'll end up going the long way around and having to go through a lot of things. I really believe as well that because I was off track and not really, I think that's where a lot of things, and my mother was off track. See, my mother was raised in church, but she wasn't where she's supposed to be. So it's also important that your parents stay rooted in church. Parents, stay rooted. If you have children, you have to stay rooted so you can lead and guide your children. Because, see, she wasn't rooted. It caused different things to come into my life. You see, had she been praying that day, maybe God would have told her, don't let your daughter go to the service station that day. And I would not have gotten raped on the service station floor. You see what I'm saying? Had she been praying, knew how to fight against the asthma that the enemy that I suffered with for 18 long years, almost dead so many times. I almost died so many times. I literally sometimes could feel the life
coming out of
I'm leaving my body. For the simple fact that, excuse me, I was so sick. I was so sick. So sick, you know. I need some water. Yeah, I was so sick. But God, in His mercy, when I finally got into God, He was able to turn my life around. So that's why it's important that you stay on path. I can't stress it enough. Stay on course. Stay on course. Young people, stay on course. Parents that have children, stay on course. That way, things, I'm not saying nothing will come your way. I'm not saying hard times won't come your way. I'm not saying temptations won't come. But I'm saying that if you stay rooted in God, young people, if you stay with God, if you obey your parents, if you stay rooted in God, God will help you and sustain you through. And a lot of things He will dwart out of your way. Or cover you and grace you to endure it. And it won't be so hard.
Awesome, awesome. Please, if you are watching, we are talking about the scar of survivor with our guest, Pastor Sandra, who has been through a lot. But what I love is, you see, it's not what happened to you. It's what you do with what happened. Okay, so your case can be worse, and you can just stay there and look at it and cry on it. Or you can take what have happened to you and turn it to a testimony, turn it to bless somebody, turn it to do something greater. Okay, and that's very, very important. But there are some point that she's pointing it out. Last night I was talking to myself about this generation thing, and sometimes when we sit in church, we think that, oh, because I am in church, you know, all is well. You know, last night I was talking to my own self because I've noticed that there were like something in our family that everybody have to go through it. And when you go through it, Pastor Sandra, it's a big setback.
Oh, yes.
And it's destroyed their lives forever. You understand? And I remember I get to a point in my life that I saw myself like I was going through the same lane. But guess what? The Spirit of God brought it to my attention that no. You can't go through this lane because you go through this lane, you are fulfilling negative family pattern. It took, I was in church, I'm a pastor, I'm preaching everything. But it took the Spirit of God to bring it to my attention. And the Spirit of God told me, you have to break it. Because if you don't break it, even you as a pastor, you saw yourself going through. So if you don't break it, it means I can catch up with your children. And I'm telling you, this thing destroyed my mother, my aunties. It would just destroy your life.
Yes, it will.
You know, so those things are very important. And you say that sometimes when you don't know what you are fighting, and it's like you are fighting just in the air. But we have to know what we are fighting. That is a wonderful.
You sure do. Thank you.
Yeah, that is a wonderful. So please continue to share the video. I tag somebody to come in. And please, if you have a question, if you have a point, you have a contribution, this is the time. Please let it come, and I think it will bless somebody. Okay, Pastor, I want to ask you another. Question. I want to ask you another question. I wrote here, there is no easy road to achievement and fulfillment in life. We go through many obstacles, setbacks, and opposition in order to get where God wants us to get. What has been some of the setback that you have faced? Okay? And what are some of the things that also help you for your comeback?
I know it's probably sad to say, but a lot of setbacks for me came through, like I say, disobedience, not listening to God, not being in the vein of God, not hearing Him, because I wasn't saved at that time. That was a big no. That was the first thing. And then I think just hurt. Relationships. I mean, I end up, you know, getting hurt with myself. I was in the 12th grade and I got pregnant.
Oh, wow.
In the 12th grade, I was seven credits from graduating.
Wow.
And I got pregnant because I still had all these things, all of these things inside of me. You know, all of from the rape and all of the rejection from my family. You know, my mother ended up having to take me away from my family when I was like 8 months old, 6 months old. You know, so I was separated from my family. You know, my relationship with my family was just severed. So all my life I'm trying to be loved, trying to be accepted of them, trying to let them love me. And they hated me because she took me. But it was something that she had done in her life that it caused her to have to leave the town. And when she left the town, she took me. And she was told, you cannot take your other children. You have to leave with this bastard child that you have. You take her and you go. So I end up, so you know, I'm a child now. You know, and you know what spirits transfer? The hurt of my mother, the rejection of my mother. I believe I felt all of that. You know what I'm saying? All of that. So that has been a setback, the relationship, and they're trying to just be loved and trying to, you know, be accepted and trying to still find my way in the midst of all of that. You know, married too young. You know, married to somebody that's just like, okay, I'm pregnant, let's get married.
So you just get married.
Don't ever do that.
Yeah.
Very nice guy, but it's just, no. Don't ever do that. Young people, old people, don't do that.
Yeah.
You must love, and God will give you your true mate. You know, but that was just years of just crying, years of just sadness, years of just in turmoil, because I was like, you know, so now you look at all these years now of just wasted time, wasted time. But when I came into God, when I accepted the Lord and gave him my life and cried out to God and asked God, Lord, help me. Something is wrong with me.
Okay.
And see, it goes back to what I was saying. You have to know what you're fighting.
Yeah.
You know, so when I started looking at all of these things, I was like, Lord, there's something wrong with me.
Okay.
I'm not happy.
Yeah.
I feel sad. I feel ashamed. I used to walk with my head down because of the rape. You know, I was ashamed to talk to men. I was ashamed to, you know, then I was promiscuous. That's how I ended up getting pregnant.
Yeah,
all of these things.
Yeah.
All of these things. You see, then the rejection of my family.
Yeah.
You know, now I got a baby.
Wow.
In a foreign country, in Germany.
Then you have to
away from my family that I had to deal with. But God is so good. God is so good. You know, and I used to hear the Lord talking to me and didn't know it was him. I would hear him like walking, like just walking with me, just talk with me. I would see angels and things. And the Lord has a beautiful way of just encamping his love around you and keeping you in the midst of it all. Yeah. You know. So that has been a tremendous setback. I think it just, you know, caring too much. And I think all of that came from just wanting to be accepted.
Yeah.
Just wanting to be loved.
Okay.
You know, just wanted to be loved. But when I got saved and I got delivered and God helped me, but let me tell you now, it took a long time.
Yeah.
It was like an onion.
Okay.
It was layers. It was layers.
Wow.
And I didn't even really know the rape was real. I used to say, well, is it real? Was it real? Because I only had, I think, and sometimes what children do, Pastor Victoria, when they've gone through traumatic situations, they kind of block and compartmentalize. Yeah. So I had this thing over here, and I really didn't even know if it was real. So one day, at about 35 years old, standing at the sink, washing the dishes, it began to just, and this is after I'd been saved, crying out to God to deliver me, help me to get through, help me, help my mind, help me. It began to unravel, just like a record. You know those reel to reel movies? And I could just see each frame. I could see exactly. And my sister was visiting me that time, and I went and asked, I said, Jean, because I never asked anybody. Nobody ever talked about it. I never got therapy. Nobody never talked about it. Everybody just put it under the rug. When my mama beat that man that raped me, and just, I was always too afraid to say anything because I didn't know she was going to beat me. You see, but she just shoved it. Everybody just shoved it. I asked my sister, I said, did it happen? It just goes to show you now how you can not be living in reality. You know what I'm saying? When things happen to you in your life, and some of you may have had some things that happen to you and you don't really know, you know, is this real or is it, where am I? You feel kind of foggy in your mind because you don't really know. These things can be traumatizing to your life and hinder you in so many ways and set you back for years. But when she told me yes, that's exactly the way it happened. It finally was, and when God was able to reveal it and I accepted it. Now, that's another thing you have to do. You have to accept what you're going through. You have to accept the trauma you went through. You have to accept the pain, the hurt and the pain. You have to accept it and say, okay, this happened. Now, what am I going to do with it?
That's it.
What am I going to do from here? Am I going to lay down and let this thing just railroad me? Because a lot of people don't come out of the rapes like that. A lot of people don't come out of being ostracized. You know, but I'm telling you, if you don't know God and you're going through some of that stuff, he's the one. He's the one. He's the one that will lead you, guide you, and put you back on your path. You know, so once I came into God, Pastor Victoria, he just slowly just began to just help me. You know, so he started putting me back on the path. It was later in my life, unfortunately, but at least it's better late than never. Better late than never.
Awesome. Please continue to share the video. We will take the questions very soon. You mentioned about love. I want to ask this because I've seen a lot of people going through that aspect, okay, of their life, and sometimes they think it's something wrong with them, but it's because of what have happened.
That's right.
Okay, so love, the way you see love is the way you receive love.
That's very true.
So if you yourself, you don't love yourself because of what has happened, even when people are showing you love, you can't accept it.
That's right.
if somebody is watching right now and is going to that aspect, you know, because that is where divorce and all those things comes in. You know, it's not your husband that hurts you.
That's right.
But because Joe Pasasa hurts you, you are punishing your husband because of Joe Pasasa.
That's right.
Somebody is watching. What do you have to say to them?
I just want to tell you, like I said through this up until this part, you have to come to yourself. Just like the prodigal son. Yeah. You have to come to yourself and say, you know what? You have to stand in your truth. You have to stand in your truth and say, you know what? Let me just face this thing. You know, I don't love myself. I don't love people. Just be real with yourself, because I found out that if you're not real with yourself, you can't be real with anybody else. And people will not accept you as being real. Yeah. They will always see the phony you. For years, I tried to be who I thought people needed me to be. Yeah. You know, who I thought, whoever would love me. So I made myself a chameleon into so many different people because I wanted to be loved. But until I came to that truth and say, okay, I have to love myself. That's it. I have to realize that as a child, 8 or 9 years old, I did 8 years old, that it wasn't my fault that I was raped. It wasn't my fault that my mother took only me. It wasn't my fault that, you know, I started having compassion on my siblings because of how they must felt. Yeah. Here you get mother, we don't get her. I can understand. You have to sit down and evaluate your life and come and stand in your truth and say, you know what? This is what it is. It is exactly what it is. I'm miserable. I make other people miserable, and I need to get delivered. Bottom line, until you can do that, you can't help yourself. You're going to continue to be miserable. You're going to make your spouse miserable. You're going to make everybody around you miserable. Look, when everybody around you is telling you that you got issues, believe it, you got issues. Yeah, it can be. Stand in your truth. Stand in your truth. Get yourself delivered. So because you know what? It's free. Yeah. Jesus will help you. Don't cost you a dime. All you have to do is get on your knees and say, Lord, I need help. I'm not happy. Help me. What do I need to do? I don't have any peace. I'm nervous. I'm scared. I'm ashamed. I feel guilty. Whatever you've done in your life, it doesn't matter. We have a sweet Jesus that will pick you up, turn you around. All you got to do is reach up, and he will pull you up. If you can just reach up, and he will take you by your hands and pull you up and give you a life so beautiful. Take it from me. I'm telling you what I know. Wow. I mean, if you are watching me, this is wonderful. I told you today's show is going to be powerful because I know this woman of God. I know God is using her powerfully, and her testimony is just amazing. Okay, but we have a question. How hard was it for you to accept the issue you face? How hard it is sometimes? Very hard. Yeah. Very hard. You know, because like I said, I couldn't face the issues because I was within myself that I hadn't faced my truth. Wow. So everything was distorted. Okay. Everything was distorted. I thought I was showing love, but I wasn't showing love in the capacity that I could have showed it because I couldn't see right. I couldn't hear right. Everything that came, see, when you've been hurt and you've been through a lot in your life, and just, I mean, I was crushed for years. Now, can you imagine just being around a family and they don't really want you there? Yeah. Can you imagine the feeling of you trying to just love, you keep trying to reach out, and you keep trying to be there, and they just, we don't like you. I don't like you. Wow. You know, why are you here? And it always, well, why did mother take you? So when I would hear, finally, after they all got saved, thank God, and started saying that they love me, I'm still distorted. Yeah. When it comes to me, you couldn't even believe it. When it comes to me, it's fragmented. So by the time it gets to my spirit, it's like, I don't know, because you've hurt me so many times before, and that's what happened. Until you have to go to God and ask God to just take it out. You have to just get on your face and ask God to take it out, because I'm telling you, if you don't get it straightened out, if you don't, and God is the only one that can do it. I don't care about the psychiatrist. They can give you pills. You can go to the psychologist. You can go to counselors. It ain't going to matter. Jesus is the heart healer and the mind regulator. He is the only one that can go to the deep crevices of your hurting soul and bring you out, because, see, he knows the fight that's going on within you. Yeah. He knows better than you. There were times I had to say, Lord, I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know why I think like that. I don't know why I act like that. I don't know why I feel like I just want to just jump off a bridge. I don't know. Help me. And he began to show me these things. He will help you. But you got to go to God because the answer is in him.
Wow. So you made a very good point. So do we really have to allow God in our life, okay, to renew our mind, to help us with the way we think, the way we see things, our heart? Because, you know, life, as we said in the beginning, life is a fight.
Oh, yes.
And sometimes I see us like, do we really want to make some impact in this life? Do we really want, like, when we are gone, all is said and done, somebody will stand and say that, oh, Pastor Sandra was here because this is what she allowed God to do. I mean, if we really are in that purpose, walking destiny, we have to fight. And we can't stop fighting.
Oh, yes.
So do we really have to, you know, say to ourselves, you know what? God, just take over.
That's right.
Take my mind. Take my heart. Whatever you want to do, do with me. Do we have to do that?
You
as
have to
people
do
of
that.
destiny?
You have to do that because I'm telling you, you won't reach it. You got an adversary.
Wow.
You got a generational thing that's constantly trying to come back. You got voices. The devil's voice, you got your own, and you got the naysayers' voices.
Yeah.
You see, and then all the other issues you may be going through. So if you don't go to God and truly, and I cannot stress this enough, you have to just be wide open with God. I mean, wide open. I would just talk to God like I'm talking to you. I say, Lord, you know I'm a little bit ain't too all the way, you know, straight. So you know my mind. You know how I am. You know me. So I need for you to go down deep into the roots and the cavities of my spirit and tell me, pull it up and show me myself. Show me what I need to work on. Show me what you need, what I haven't given up. Because you know what, Pastor Victoria, there are some times that we feel that because he's such a perfect God, that we have to be perfect when we go to him.
That's wrong.
It's a wrong concept.
That's wrong.
He knows. He knows what you need.
We go there with max. We go there with makeup.
Yes, we go.
We go there with what the world is telling us.
That's right.
You understand? We go there with things we have seen. But we have to go to God naked.
You have to go there naked.
Naked, very naked.
You have to, and it doesn't matter what you learned in your home. It doesn't matter, you know, what you learned even sometime in your church. You have to go to God on your own.
Yeah.
You have to go to God for yourself and ask God to just, I'm telling you, because if you don't get it straight with God, you're going to always be messed up.
Yeah.
You're going to always, and see, a lot of times what happens is when you've been hurt a lot, and somebody needs this right now.
Yeah.
When you've been hurt a lot and you don't get delivered, let me tell you what happens. All it is like you ever have a scrape on your arm or a cut. There's a thin layer that comes across first of skin where it's trying to go back. But if you hit that thing again, it'll bust up and the pus will ooze right out again.
Yeah.
Same thing in the spirit. If you don't get completely healed and let God go down to the core and to the base of that wound, to the base of it, and allow him to go in there and pull it up and pull it out, you will always be touching and busting open the top. You will always be busting the wound back open again. So it's going to always be there. So you'll never, and it will hinder you from your destiny. It will hinder your children because now, while your mind is distorted, you not being where you need to be in God, you're going. If your children, your husband, and the destiny that God has for you, you're not going to get there.
Wow.
You can only get there when you know what? I watch this.
Yeah.
I say, now what, God, why is it that some people seem like they just, you know, look at people on television and stuff. It's like everything was just boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
But God said they gave me their heart.
Oh, wow.
He said, they gave me their heart young.
Wow.
And I think it's a beautiful thing when you can see people like, you see God just, some people, it seems like it just go. And some people have to really just fight. Well, you have to fight because you haven't got what you need.
Yeah.
You haven't gotten your deliverance. You see, I don't care if it comes late. I'm 64 years old. Praise God. You know what? I'm still fighting and I'm still asking God, Lord, I'm still on my way. Because I had to get it late because of bad advice, because of ill feelings, because of disobedience to God, the main one, not listening, and not getting my deliverance.
Wow.
You see, so I end up missing a lot of time. So latter part of my life, now I'm trying to do the things, and God is so gracious because he's blessing me to be able to do a lot of the things, and things are just coming together at this 64-year-old's life.
Wow. 64, you look
64
good,
years old. I'm trying. I'm trying.
You look very good.
I'm trying.
Let me ask a question that is not in the question book, okay? Are you with me? Let's ask this. What is your secret? 64, you look good.
Really?
What is your secret? We want to know. Woman of influence, don't you want to know? I want to know. What is your secret?
Well,
you look good.
it.
I mean, you look good.
Really?
It's not like because you are my friend.
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
I mean, you are my friend, so no.
You
But
know
it's
me
not
about
just because of that. You look good.
Well, thank
if
God.
I get to 64 and I look like you, I think I will be happy. So
you know what?
Tell us, those of us who are still close.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you what it is.
Yeah.
It's God.
Amen.
And this is the prayer that I prayed, and I'm about to get tears in my eyes.
Wow.
I told God, I said, Lord, I missed a lot of time in my life. I said, I missed a lot where I could have been doing this or doing that.
Yeah.
I missed you so many times in my life. I asked God, I said, Lord, renew my youth.
Amen.
Renew my health.
Wow.
Renew my strength. Renew my vigor.
Wow.
Renew my bones, my heart. Just give me what I could have had a long time ago because I couldn't get it because I was so messed up. Because I was not surrendered. Because I had so much hurt inside. Because I was still dealing with so many things most of my life. I mean, it took a long time to get delivered. So God, renew my strength.
Yeah.
And he has done it. I think he's done it.
It is.
He's done it. You know what I'm saying? And then I got young people around me, my children. See, let me tell you one thing. Now, I'm not telling you all to go out and have babies young. But then I tell you what, God will take lemons and turn it into lemonade.
Oh, yes.
I had my first baby at 18.
Wow.
But I'm telling you, when you can grow up with your children, they keep you young.
Yeah.
When you grow up with your children, from TJ looking at me, Mom, well, you need to do this, and, and you know, all my daughter-in-laws and things looking at me, why do you have that on? You have to, you know, you can't get out the house. And then I got great-grandchildren, thank you, God, and granddaughters. I got granddaughters that tell me, Grandma, you know, what is that? What is that? Oh, Grandma, don't wear that. Turn that. You know, so I have to think because I can't get out of my house.
Yeah.
You know, but God is good. But that's what it was. I literally prayed to God and said, Lord, I missed a lot. I said, I missed so much in my life. Can you just renew my strength, renew my health, and give me another chance?
Wow.
God, give me a second chance.
Amen.
You know, and he's doing it. He's doing it.
Amen. I think I love that. So it's God, okay? I mean, I always say, those of you who have been watching the show, me sitting here, it has been God from the beginning, God at the middle, and God all the way to the future. I don't know what I would do without this God. I mean, just picking me from nowhere and look at what He's doing. So, I mean, it's God, sincerely. Yes. And it's not a cliche when we say it's God. It's God.
It's God.
He is everything. Yesterday, I put it on my social media, like, help me to block about God, who He is in your life. And I love people respond. Oh my God, I love He's a way maker, He's a promise keeper, He's my all in all. I mean, yesterday my Facebook was blowing out, you know, because everybody has something to say about this God. So please, if you don't know this God, especially in these times that we live in and in this season that we live in, please consider it will help you. No, it's not late. Whether you are a teenager, you are grown. I mean, Pastor Sandra says that she's 54, and look at
64.
Look at me taking it, reducing it. 64, and look at what God is doing. So it's not too late. Whether you are 80, 90, it's not too late. Make sure that one day you are going to meet Him.
Yes.
And make sure you have it right before you go and meet Him. It will be a blessing. Please continue to share the video. Tag somebody to come in. My mom is watching from New York too. She too is another powerhouse with the age. I mean, when I see her, it puts me on my toes to go and run in the morning for 6 months just to keep up with her. Just by the way, those of you who don't exercise, please keep it. It's good. We have a question. What advice would you give to somebody that has been hurt and has been hard to forgive those who hurt them? Forgiveness. Next week, that is our topic. How to let go. But we have been hurt. As I said, you cannot be a person of destiny. A person that is going somewhere that nobody have hurt you before, then you are not doing anything.
That's right.
So how can we forgive those who have really crossed us?
You have to. You absolutely must, because this is the thing about unforgiveness. It hurts you more than it hurts the other person.
Oh, yes.
Now, that may sound like a cliche, but it's the truth.
It is.
Because you somewhere worrying yourself in the morning, trying to figure out how you can hurt them back, and mad with them, fussing every time you see them. And you know what's the sad part? They're going on about their life. You have to get over it.
Yeah.
You got to get over it.
Yeah.
You must get over it. And I've sometimes been hurt over and over by the same people. But let me tell you something I heard Bishop Jake say one time that helped me. He said, you can forgive people, but you don't have to let them in your circle no more.
That's it. That's it. That's
see, my problem, my problem, and this may be somebody else's problem, is you keep that person in your circle. Sometimes you just have to love them from a distance.
Oh.
And I've learned, let me tell you the quickest way to get forgiveness. You pray for them.
That's it.
You pray for them. I pray for myself, and then I pray for them. Now, Lord, whatever part I had in this, because see, we always want to say it's the other person.
Yeah.
Lord, whatever I may be doing, whatever I may have done to invoke that, I don't know if I did, because we always feel like we're right.
Yeah.
But maybe I did something to invoke it. Maybe I said the wrong thing. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. Maybe that was the wrong tone. Maybe I misunderstood, and maybe I had something to do with it. If I did, forgive me, Lord.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to pray for this person that God, you would deliver them and help them to understand that they can't get in heaven hurting people like that.
Yeah.
And you really sincerely pray for them, and I'm telling you what happens is it begins to lift. The hurt for them, and you almost take on the compassion of Christ for them now because you're praying for them.
Wow.
Because if you just keep that thing just mad all the time, and angry all the time, you just end up being totally miserable. And life is too short, especially these days. Especially today. Where we're living in, I never dreamed in a million years we would see something like this. COVID. Oh, my God. I'm telling you, we have to love God, be free of everything. You cannot afford, because you don't want nothing to be drawn to you.
Yeah.
You don't want no negativity, no sickness, or nothing. And I believe when you're unforgiving, I believe things get drawn to you, because the Bible said if you don't forgive, God don't forgive you.
Yeah.
If you're walking around and God's not forgiving you, anything's subject to come your way.
Yeah.
I just particularly don't feel like you're under the shield like you need to be when you're not forgiving, because you're not in that close relationship with God. Yeah. So you have to ask God. You have to go to God and say, Lord, forgive me. And then if you can back up from that person just a little bit, back up. Don't be so available. Because if people know they can hurt you, they'll keep hurting you.
Yeah, that's
If they see you cry, they'll keep coming. I used to tell my children if they were bullied. My children were never really bullied, though, because they fought. They would fight back. I tried to teach them not to, but they did. So they didn't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
But you know what? Never let them see you cry.
Yeah.
If you have to come home, go cry. Because if people see you hurt, they'll keep hurting you. They'll keep on hurting. They know they can get to that soft spot, they'll keep on going.
Yeah.
So you have to forgive, ask God to take it out, do whatever you got to do, and back up just a little. You don't have to act nasty. Be sweet about it, but God has to even do that in you. I hope that helps somebody.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for watching. Please continue to share the video. Right now, if you can go to Woman of Influence and love the page, that will be awesome. Also, make sure that if you are in groups, okay, share it there. Somebody can bump into it later of the day and watch it. It's be a blessing. I mean, the things that we are talking about now, you don't know how much it's healing some people and making some people free. And that's what Woman of Influence is about. We have a question here. Life is an obstacle course, I wrote. You only get promotion for the challenge you win, and you have reward you have reward for the problem you solve. What are some of the challenges that you've been able to come around it? I remember the school, for instance, has been a challenge, but by the grace of God, each day, each month, each year, it's improving.
Yes.
What are some of the challenges that you have really tackled, and by the grace of God, you are seeing results now?
The school has been the biggest thing.
Yeah.
I mean, because we went through 17 months my family and I are putting into this building, putting money, over $50,000, $60,000, and end up losing it at the end of the time for 1 month's rent. It was just really, like Pastor said, it's just a disgrace. You know, I can't even think of the word he said. It's not, but it's not right. But I end up, you know, but you know what I learned something? Let me tell you something. When you go through trials, learn from them.
That's the perfect
When you
thing
go
to
through
do.
hurt, learn from them.
Yeah.
When God, because everything you go through in life will be a stepping stone. You have to remember now, nothing can come your way if you are in the will of God that God does not allow.
Perfect.
Nothing can come your way. Nothing can try to assault you. No trial or no tribulation can come your way if you're in the will of God. So if you remember you're in the will of God, you got a relationship with God, you're close to Him, you're saying your prayers, you're doing all you need to do. You've got unforgiveness in your heart, you're forgiven, and you're doing all you know to do. Then God will direct you, and God will help you, and God will cover you. You see what I'm saying? He will keep you. But you have to know that, you have to understand that, you know, this trial God must have allowed. God must have allowed this. So going through that trial, I learned, okay, you can't do this with a building. I learned you shouldn't do that with a building. I learned you can't do that rule. I learned you can't do that. So you know what? Now that I'm looking for the second building and going to be talking to somebody and I have excelled so much in the knowledge about what I should get. I know how to go in and negotiate. You see, so I can't stay crying about that old building because God is getting ready to do a new thing. You see, so you have to fight. You're going to always have to fight. Because you know what? Fighting makes you strong. Fighting gives you discernment. Fighting roots you down in God. It grounds you in God. Fighting helps you to be compassionate. Because you can look at somebody else going through something and say, wow, I remember when I came through that. And it also helps you help somebody else. Take your hand and pull them up because you've been there, done that. So these are some of the things. And just peace. Enduring for peace, just having peace. You know, being able to fight through something. We've come a long ways with binding up the generational curses and casting them down, and you know, peace. Peace. Who I love, I love. Who loves me, who don't love me, I love them. You know, who can't stand me, I still love them. You know, I'm so busy now, I'm so focused on what God is doing. God is blessing. You don't have time. You know, I'm 64 years old. I ain't got time. You know, I have things that I need to do, and God is just opening doors and making ways for me just through this COVID. Through this COVID. I mean, I have projects that's lined up for like next year, and it's like, Lord, you just are doing a miraculous thing in the midst of COVID. You see, so that and the school and continually to fight. Because believe you me, once I get to school and once we do other things, it's still going to always be a fight. So you have to get in your mind, I'm a warrior. I will fight because you have to fight for your destiny. You have to want it more than anything. You have to want your destiny. Because see, when your destiny comes and you start flowing in your true destiny, because see, everybody has a divine destiny, Pastor Victoria. If people could just get that, it's just not for some people. It's for everybody. God has put everybody in this earth to do a particular thing. And if my particular thing, my one thing that I can do many things, thank God, but this one thing that's really in my spirit is to get Judah Prep Academy.
That's it.
I have to do it. I have to do it because I just, in my heart, I went through so much as a child. I have to have that place of peace for children. I have to have that place of love, that place where children can learn about God in a happy environment. I have to let them know. Let me tell you what the little motto is for Judah Prep. I am a Judah Prep student, filled with dignity and respect. I am somebody made in the image of God. When you see me, you see God's Spirit shining through everything I do. I will always do my best to respect God, myself, and others. This is Judah Prep Pride. This is what we teach all of our children.
That's powerful.
We teach and you know what? Some of them that have gone on to other schools still know that motto. They still know that pledge. And you know what? I drive it in them. You are somebody. God has a plan for your life. I don't care if you're hurt. I don't care what you feel like. You're not useless. You're hopeless. God has a divine plan just for you. Just for you. Nobody can do it better than you. You don't have to be jealous of anybody. You don't have to be envious of anybody. God has something uniquely that just you can do. And you can do it beautifully. You just have to get in the perfect will of God.
Oh my God, it has been a blessing. But let me ask, so now I know with COVID and everything, school is trying to open. Parents are thinking about their children. What are you doing with the school around this time? Is it open?
Well, right now I have
what are you doing?
Right now I have a limited amount of children, just a few in the space that I'm in. Okay. But I'm looking for another building right now.
Yeah.
Praise God, I pray I'm getting it.
It will
God's
work.
gonna bless me.
It will
you
work.
know that I can take this building and be able to put the children in here where I can space them out more and I get more children. So we will do all of the social distancing. The children, I'm actually gonna get them where they're in like little cubicles. You know, and separate all the children. I still may not be able to take as many, but it's coming on.
It's better.
It's coming up because I'm telling you, God is going to bless me to get through this, to do this Judah prep. We're going to do it in every county in Georgia.
Amen.
We're going to take it on and we're going to do it. And when I'm dead and gone and in heaven, I'm telling my children, look, go to Ohio, put one. Go over here to Oklahoma and put one. Go over here and put one. So I have to fight. Yeah. I have to do it. So that's what we're doing at Judah Prep, you know. So we're open and we're ready and we're doing everything that we can. The children have to wear their masks for certain parts of the day, and you know, so we're doing everything we're supposed to do, sanitizing, disinfecting the whole school, you know. So just, you know, one step at a time. Though I've got to get my new building first. But right now, I'm already full. Yeah. I'm at capacity right now, so I can't take any more. But if I get this building, I'm opening up for a little bit more.
Yeah. So I think what we will do once. By the grace of God, which I believe, and we will trust God and pray, all women of influence on the life, prayer warriors. I know my mom. If my mom says that I'm praying with you, sometimes when she says that I'm praying with you, I go to sleep.
Because you know
because
it's done.
You know it's done.
Okay.
And there have been so many things that she will say, I'm praying with you, and it's done. So it means that she prayed.
Amen.
I know all of you are there,
you
know, so please pray that by the grace of God, she will get this building.
Yes,
and when she gets it, you know, I mean, that's what Woman of Influence is for. We promote it and see what God have to do. But this is what I'm telling you. When we allow ourselves, okay, God can heal us through our pains. She has been through pain and pain. But guess what? How much God have healed her.
Amen.
If we allow ourselves, we can have what God says we should have. So we are almost done. Last word. Before we finish, let's talk a little bit about endurance. What do we have to do to endure?
You have to know that you got a destiny. You have to know that God is with you. You have to know that you're unique and you're special to Him, and He has a divine plan for your life. And you have to want it more than anything. When you want something more, that doesn't mean you're not going to slow down sometime. It doesn't mean you're not going to get tired and have to sit on the side for a minute. But you get back up because you know you want what He got for you. Because when you start walking in divine destiny, all the blessings of God come in. Before you get there, it's like a little dab or do you kind of thing. You know, He blesses you, but you don't quite get everything. But when you start walking in your path to destiny, that's my prayer. Lord, put my feet daily in my path to my destiny. Place my feet in the path to my destiny. Place the feet of my children in the path to their destiny. Place their wives, their husbands, my great-grandchildren in the path to their destiny. So that should be your prayer. Lord, put my feet on the path to destiny. And I'm telling you, when you get it in your spirit that you know God has a plan for you, you got to get it. You will endure anything to get to what God has for you. Because I'm telling you, your life is going to be 100% better when you reach your destiny.
Wow, wow, what a wow show today. It has been a blessing. We thank God for Pastor Sandra. Thank you so much for coming and being a blessing
to
us. Please continue to share the video, tag somebody to come in. If you're in a group, continue to share it. We are still doing the promotion. So if you go to YouTube and you subscribe, you will still get a mark. You know, if you go to Woman of Influence and like it, guess what? I monitor all this, so I know who is doing it and who is not doing it. So if you go there and you like it, I will get to know it. Okay, so let's do this. Let's do this. Most of the things that God used this platform to for us to talk about, it will be a blessing to somebody. But once again, thank you so much for watching. Just go out there and be a blessing, you know. And this is the time that our life and our light have to shine as brighter as never before. So you want to make sure that everywhere you go, they will see the powerful woman of influence, the powerful man of influence you are. And I will see you here back next Tuesday, same time. We're talking about the Chronicles of Forgiveness next week. And I'm telling you, it's part of our journey as women and men of influence. We have to learn to let go and see what God has for us. So thank you once again. Pastor Sandra, thank you.
God bless you.
And,
thank you so much.
We will see you next Tuesday, same time. Thank all my crews for doing a wonderful work today. Everything is marvelous. So help me to thank them. God bless you. I'll see you next Tuesday.
Great job.
Bye-bye.